Right then, welcome back. Today, today we're doing this CBR600 trophy and quite possibly the most ridiculous race ever. Out of everything we've done, the Southern 100 race at the end is daft. But first, Cadwell Park. CBR600s, loads of them. There's 5 of them I think on the game, and we're going to do them in time chronological order. So we'll start with the oldest first, the 2005 CBR600, and we're at Cadwell, 5-lap race, and bit of a strange one because Cadwell can be quite difficult to set a bike up for. You need decent front end support, you need decent agility. There's only a couple of massive braking areas to put energy in the tyre, but we got things pretty much spot on. So temp 1, we got on the gas a bit early and we got a spat out of the seat, and the setup just wasn't quite right. There was just something not right with it. So all I did is I took 1 click off the rear preload. That's it, just to balance the bike a little bit better, put a bit more energy into the back tyre so that the load was spread more evenly. We've gone for a medium front and a soft rear, and attempt number 2, we get a blinding start. Pretty much no wheelie control needed on these, apart from over the mountain. I tend to just leave it on 1. So through turn 2, fast right-hander, keeps going all the way around. It just nips up at the end through Charlie's turn 3, and then you're onto the back straight that's not a straight. Pick your line 3, it doesn't matter, as long as when you come to the braking zone at the end you're on the left hand side. Look for the braking markers, get on the brakes. Bike's going to squirrel about a little bit. Through Park Corner, little bit of a squirt on the gas. This is tighter than you think, Chris's curve. And then all the way around on the right hand side of the tyre. Just nips up at the end before the gooseneck. Down you go, down the hill. Hard on the brakes for Mansfield. And then you've got a little squirt on a short straight, and then you're into this horrible little chicane. Bike doesn't want to change direction. Don't run over the curbs, it'll spit you off. Little bit of gas, and then I always leave the bikes in second if I can through here. First 2 reactive, third's not enough. Nice and sharp on the right hander, into the curb, over the mountain, and then we're into the woodland section, through Hall Bends. Loads left and right, it's nice. Don't run over the curves like I did because it went very well. Into turn 17, the hairpin. Little bit of gas, up a gear if you can, and then hold it nice and tight to the curb, and then we're down the straight, and that is a lap of Cadwell Park. And when you string it all together, it goes really well, and we pulled over 3 seconds on the first lap, which was a genuine surprise. And that was it. Not a lot else happened. No time penalties. We didn't fall off. We didn't nearly flip it over backwards. We weren't skipping across curbs and making it shake its head. It was just a nice steady ride. Tyres were okay. I could maybe drop a click on spring hardness front and rear just to put a bit more energy into them, but the bike was in a nice place. It worked well, and we ended up the best part of, 7.7 seconds in front. Let's see what the pre-programmed AI does before we get giddy. 9.5, there you go. So a fairly solid race, nothing significant to report on that one. So, race 2, time attack at Sugo, and thankfully, it's the fast course without that horrible double chicane at the end of the lap. Next bike along the line, 2009 CBR600, few bodywork tweaks, different colours, changes to things like ABS and so on and so forth that the 05 bike didn't have. Nice bikes, rode quite a few of them in my time. They're pretty solid, a bit flat because all the power's at the top end, but it's a Supersport 600s. Sugo, setup wise, you just need something you trust. You don't want it sliding about, you want a decent front end, and you want a decent amount of stability. I would not advise running over the curbs and flipping it over backwards because that will hurt. However, attempt number 2 goes significantly better, and we're chasing a 134.2. Really, we should be looking at a low 130s on this. So first corner, it's a double apex right-hander. Make sure you get your braking point right, normally just before the bridge/curb on the right-hand side. Into turn 3, again, it's one of those corners that's longer than you think, into a little like hairpin, nice and tight. Then you've got a little bit of a straight before you're into a chicane. Don't go over the high curb, otherwise it'll spit you off. And then your curbs are your braking markers. So when the curb ends, you get on the brakes for turn 6, and then again when the curb ends, that's where you brake. Keep it nice and tight. This one just nips up at the end, and then we're down the back straight. Back straight kinks slightly right towards the finish, and then we're into like a 160-degree hairpin style corner. Use the braking boards, about 150-ish meters. Get it in nice and tight. Don't do that. Don't run over the high curb because it upsets the bike. This corner's quicker than you think, but you've got to get your turning point right. And then this one's beautiful. Use the curb, tip in, get on the gas, and if you're on a bike that's a bit more powerful, you get a lovely little floaty wheelie off there. And then we're into this really long right-hander. Stay nice and tight, try and hold gear, just manipulate the throttle, try not to upset the bike too much by using big steering inputs. Get on the gas, and then we're down the back straight. And we should, like I said, we should be looking for a low 130 ish, possibly into the high 120s if we can. And we ended up on a 128.3, so we smashed it really. We did it by what, 6 seconds? So I'll take that. That is more than good enough for me. So next one then. And this is where things got nice and interesting. So we're going to go 2018, bodywork changes, suspension changes, they changed the wheels, they changed the position of the backlight. Again, it was above the exhaust, then it was below the exhaust, then it was back above the exhaust. Very prominent central ram air intake, big sort of channel straight through to the airbox. And we're at Portimao, or the circuit, the Algarve, or the Algarve circuit, whatever name you want to give it. And again, you need a good front end, you need some compliance in the suspension, not too much though, because it's very bumpy, and if you go too soft, it'll spit you off, go too hard, spit you off. It's a little bit of suck it and see. The big thing with this track is the first corner, so down the straight, over like the little crest of a hill on the brakes, because the back wheel's going to be swinging in the air. So off the line, for some reason the AI starts in this little mini series were absolutely shocking. So through turn 1, try not to run over the outside of the curb because you'll have all sorts of issues. Through 2 into 3, which is a hairpin, and you want to stay on the right hand side of the track, up the hill, very bumpy through here. Don't turn in too early, don't turn in too late, wait for the bumps to finish before you get on the gas, or you could just do what I did and get on the gas too early, run wide. Look for the curb on the right hand side, there's your brakes, all the way down into this horrible downhill hairpin, up the hill, stay on the right hand side of the track, and it's a blind left-hander. You're going to throw it in, ride the bumps, stay on the left hand side, just as you go over the brake in the tarmac, on the brakes, into the right, and then you've got an uphill right hand hairpin, nice and tight again. Bike's going to wheelie control was on 1 for this, and it just lets it float, look, all the way down to the bottom, lovely. Flat out through here, the Craig Jones corner, and then up over the crest of the hill into the sort of like double right-hander turn 10, down the hill again, through turn 11, which is very similar to the Craig Jones corner, and then into the hairpin at turn 12. Miss the braking point completely, get on the gas. Now there's 2 ways to run these next couple of corners. You can either do what I try and do here, so tight, wide, tight, or you can do what the AI tend to do and just run sort of like a middle line all the way around. Into the last corner, turn 14, downhill, try and hold it tight, watch for the bumps, and then as soon as you get to that little break in the road, in the track, where the curb is, you can get on the gas, up over the hill, down the back straight, and we're pulling what? Just over 160 mile on the 600, and now we're going to get some air on the back tyre, get on the brakes, back wheels swinging about, bit of fresh air, through turn 1, and off we go for another lap. And again, after a single lap, we pulled out a massive 3.5 seconds, which I'm happy. The bike's working well. Front tyre's a little bit warm. You could probably go 1 click on spring hardness, possibly, or even just a click on the compression and rebound adjustment, just to give it that bit more support. The danger is you're going to push energy into the back tyre, and it's down to 17% as it is, so you run the risk of running out of back tyre. I'd rather have them nice and warm as they are and have a little bit of back tyre left and everything's happy. And once again, it's a penalty free race for some reason these 600s, especially these CBR600s, they're just really nice things to ride. They're nice to set up. They handle well. They've got enough power. They absolutely scream the nuts off, all the way up to like 15 grand. But yeah, so far so good. 3 events, 3 races, 3 whatevers, 3 goals. So, 4th one then, the time attack. We're going to Monza on the GP circuit, so that means we've got the chicane at the end of the start-finish straight. Now, 2 bikes to pick from, 2005 or 2018, and we're at the Southern 100 for the second race. So, I've gone with a slower, in theory, 2018 bike because its performance index or performance level, whatever we're calling it, is slightly lower. So we've gone 2018, race modified for this one. I'm not a massive fan of the black and white colour scheme, but you've got to get this level 5 to change it anyway, or buy a new one, which is pointless. And again, set up. So Monza, you've got to run it really soft on preload. If you can, move the rake and trail all the way down to the left hand side to give you the agility you want. Otherwise the tyres just go stone cold. For some reason, preload is how you adjust it. So down the main straight, look for the 200 metre board on the left there, get on the brakes, all the way down. First or second, depends. The 600s feel a bit gutless pulling out of here in second. So first, watch for the wheelies, get on the gas, and now we've got a very, very, very fast, long right-hand corner. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it even. And then all the way around there on the gas, get the back tyre moving about a bit, get some heat in it. 200 metre board, brake just after that, again all the way down to first gear. Try not to skip over the curbs. Watch the curb on the exit, it's bumpy and lumpy and it'll spit you off. And then into, are these Lesmos? Lesmo 1 and 2, aren't they? I'm a bit late there turning in. There's a little bit of camber on the track, and if you miss it, it'll push you wide like it did with me. Just before the 50 metre board, again, on the brakes, down a gear, use the camber, nip it into the inside curb, and then we're down the back straight. We're going to go under the bridge, and then we're going to look for the advertising banner across the track, and that is basically your braking marker. And it's up to you, second or third. I'll go down to second this time just because I've extended the gearing a little bit, but you run out of revs through the last bit of this Ascari chicane. There we go, smashing into the limiter. So you're probably better off entering in second, click up to third halfway through, and it'll give you the revs to run out. All the way down the back straight, yeah, 160 odd mile an hour. Look for the Motul sign just as you go underneath that. Get on the brakes, down to second, hold it nice and tight, be patient on the gas, don't get on the gas too early. It's going to slide about, it's bumpy, and then it's a case of just flat stick all the way to the finish line. And 153.6, it shouldn't be an issue on these. I mean, you're going to be doing it in the low 150s you should be. It's just, if you've got the gearing right, you want to be pulling down the back straight as close to that limiter in 6th as you can. 149.6, yeah, so we did it by, 4 seconds in the end. It's all good. Right. Now, now the fun begins, because it's so long since we've done a race at the Southern 100. And when I say so long, I mean I genuinely forgot which way the track went. I knew roughly where the corners were. I forgot about braking points. I forgot about the little chicanes on the way into corners. I forgot about all the 100 and 120 degree corners. I couldn't remember what I needed to do for setup. It just, not been here for a long time. It's still on 120. I was tempted to turn it down. I thought, no, just leave it as it is. And this, it's just absolute carnage. So if I pass out halfway through this, alright, just bear with me, because this was just absolutely mental. So, back of the grid, as per normal, we don't do qualifying to make it interesting. We get off the line, and straight away we're into a drag race. Now, I thought the British riders would be the ones at the front, but to be honest, most people had a go at leading this. So, into turn 1, can't remember where the braking point is. I'm trying to use the AI as a pointer, and Nora Newman is basically buggering off at the front. We've got, is it Argentinian? Yeah, we've got an Argentinian rider who's along for the ride as well. down towards these little chicanes. Can't remember where it is. I brake too early. I slow down way too much through turn 2. I know this is a fast left-hander. Don't remember where the turning point is. Nearly smash into the wall on the outside. Get myself in a right muddle, basically. Forget where the braking point is for this one. I'm on the brakes way too early, smashing into the wall. I know this is a really tight corner. We wobble our way around here. It's like I've never ridden a motorbike before. 50 pence in absolutely everything. Decide the anti-wheelie needs to go up to 2 because I'm just scared of getting on the gas and the bike's trying to pick up. Another like fast chicane where I can't remember where the turning point is for X or Y or Z. I know this is another fast left-hander. Can't remember where the turning point is. Can't remember what the exit looks like. Bike's having a little bit of a wobble. During all of this, Nora Newman has gone down the road to the tune of 5 seconds. Fast. I mean, this track is so fast through there, 140 mile an hour left and right over blind crests through blind corners. Absolutely crazy. Another 100 and something degree sharp bend, missed the braking point. Spanish rider decides he's going to go past and go chase after Nora. At this point I'm thinking, I am way out of my depth here. I can't keep up. There's no way on this earth. Late on the brakes into there, smash into the wall, don't even get a crash. It just resets us. Another rider up the inside, he's off. We come out the other side of it and we're in 4th. And like I just said, I'm done. I need to quit this and turn the difficulty down. I'm way out my depth. I'm going to be doing this for hours and hours and hours. But I thought, no, get the 5 laps out of the way. Have a look at where the tyres are, what they're doing, how they're wearing, how far behind are you, what do you need to work on. And then into this turn 11, the AI make a massive mess of it. We enter in 4th and we're basically leaving 1st. I was like, what? Like, is it just a case, and I'd forgotten, it's just a case of staying on. If I crash less than they do, I'll win. I thought, right, we're on for this then, let's go. So on to lap 2, we're leading by nothing, less than 1/10 of a second, up to the braking zone for turn 1, get on the brakes, like, a bit late, AI rider goes around the outside, smashes up the curb, jumps into the house, and we're off, and skittles everybody in the process. So, thanks mate, cheers very much. Then I make a mess of it, get a massive tank slapper on, and it spits me off. Get back on, we're in 4th. Down again into this little nasty, horrible little chicane / hairpin, whatever it is. And we're getting riders up the inside, and I'm looking behind me thinking I am the cork in the bottle here. There's no way that I'm keeping all these at bay. God knows how I got around there. The bike was sideways, back wheel was off the deck. We've somehow managed to get back to 3rd. We're only 2 seconds behind the leader, and my brain's melted. My brain is just about to come out of my ears because I can't keep up. I've got all on just riding the bike. It's all over the place. It's wobbling. It's trying to spit me off. But this last corner, this lap corner, was my gold, and it was their kryptonite because every single time I came through here, they just kept spannering it. So we've gone from 3rd to 1st. Happy days. Off we go again, up the straight. Yeah, we're not miles in front, but we're in front. That's all that matters. We're crossing the line in 1st. Lap 3, on the brakes way too late into the 1st corner, get a slide on, and it just spits me off just before we go round. Get back on, we're in 2nd, panicking, skip over the curb, do a massive jump, fling myself over the handlebars. By the time that all settles itself down, and we fall off again, we're in 11th, and I'm 17 seconds behind. We get past a few riders who fell off, we're in 9th, but the gap to leader, time to leader, whatever we're calling it, 17 seconds, now 13 seconds, into the last corner, well the penultimate corner, the AI have all made a cluster of it again. We get up to 8th, we're still 13 seconds behind the leader because somehow he's managed to get through the corner where everyone crashes without crashing. So there's the exception that breaks the rule, and on we go. Back of my mind, you're not going to win it, it's just a fact-finding exercise, you're just working out where the tyres are. We're down to 17% rear tyre, 75% on the front, so there's a bit of a boo-boo made with the tyre selection before we go anywhere. Into turn 1, again, very late on the brakes, somehow managed to stay on. Normally if you hit the curbs like that, it's firing you right off. A bit later on, in lap 4, AI rider falls off, so we've made one place up to 7. Gap to leader still 13 seconds. Feels like an endurance race. Gap to leader 14 seconds in 7th. Come out of here, AI riders all over the place. We're up to 5th. Gap to leader now 9 seconds. They fell off at least once. At least once. Leaders fell off again. It's in this penultimate corner. Come round in 5th. 4th. Gap to leader under 4 seconds. So all we're doing is we're staying on. We're not getting penalties. We're not crashing. And we're just We're just working our way towards the front. However, just about to start lap 5. Halfway, well, it's 3/4 of the way around lap 5. We've still got 2 and a bit seconds. Come round the chicane, AI riders everywhere, and we're off. And I think that's it, it's done. It's finished. There's no point. I'm in 4th, I'm miles behind, come through the penultimate corner, I'm in 2nd, there's the leader, get very excited, miss the braking point, I'm on the rear brake and the front brake, I've got no back tyre left, I'm up the curb, and somehow, with 50 pence it round there, we don't get a penalty, and we win. You still with me? Everyone keeping up? Because I'm confused, I'm a little bit dazed, and I don't quite know what's happened, but we won it. Somehow, we won it. And for some reason that track, hated it before, now it's alright. It is actually alright, I don't mind it. And on the next one, I actually get on with French Riviera. I know, what's the world coming to? Hell hath freezing over. But anyway, it's done. I hope you enjoyed it, I certainly enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave me a comment, like, subscribe and all these jazz, and fingers crossed, I will see you next time. Stay safe, peace.